Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen we're making a zingy, delicious French tart. So let's get started. First off, we're gonna make the dough. It's called a pâte sucrée, and it is so easy but delicious. Separate an egg. We do not need the white, so we want the yolk in a smallish bowl, to which I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of cold heavy cream. Give that a mix. This will hold the dough together in a bit. Now we can get the dry ingredients into a large bowl. 1 1/4 cups or 150 grams of all-purpose flour. Perfect. 1/4 cup or 50 grams of granulated sugar. For some contrast, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we're gonna grab a whisk and mix that together. This dough is something you can use for any tart. It is so lovely. It's like the perfect tart dough. And if you were making a chocolate caramel tart, a hazelnut tart, a fruit tart with pastry cream on the bottom, all these will use the exact same dough. And if you want a video on how to use this to make the most professional looking pastries ever, let me know in the comments. And if there's enough of you who want that, I would make it happen. To hold this together, we have butter. I want 113 grams or 1/2 cup, 1 stick of unsalted cold butter. I'm using American butter today. If you wanted to use European butter, that also works quite well. I'm gonna cut this into small cubes so it's easy to work in. And today I'm gonna use my clean hands, but you could also use a pastry blender if that's easier for you. As you go, you can just pop those into your bowl. Now we're gonna work this together, so give that butter a good toss in there so it's all broken up. Then use your hands just to mush it up into smaller pieces. You should end up with a crumbly mixture that has butter throughout, and the butter will be anywhere from the size of a lentil to some other bean that's smaller and larger. If you're making this on a screaming hot day or the AC's out, pop this into the fridge or even the freezer for a few minutes just to chill out and then come back to it. That also works if you have extremely hot little hands or hot big hands. This looks nice. I have a crumbly mixture. There's butter hither and thither, and I'm ready to add my beautiful rich egg yolk mixture. Drizzle in your egg yolk mixture. Mix it up as you go along so it's not one giant pool. By the way, if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new recipes every single week and shorts as well. Give it a little bit of a mix. Now we can switch to a fork and just kind of mush it up. So just really try and distribute that egg yolk mixture so there's not a big pool of dry ingredients. You'll notice I still have tons of butter balls hanging out here and there. Okay, now we're gonna knead this in the bowl. So it's gonna stay nice and contained. And when I say knead, I want you to scrunch it up and press. You're kind of like mushing it together. So scrunch and then press with the palm of your hand. Scrunch it up and then press it in. And you can see after just 3 of those presses, I have a big giant piece here. So it's almost done. If you measured your ingredients correctly, and everything is the appropriate size, then you should be good. So, I have a beautiful golden lump of pâte sucrée. Just press that into a disc, just like that. And we're gonna wrap this with plastic. Wrap it loosely to start, and give it another press. And then we can wrap the edge and pop this into the fridge for about an hour until it's nice and set. If you're in a pinch, you could make this dough up to a day in advance. You can't leave it in the fridge for too long because it'll oxidize and change color. So at least 1 hour, up to overnight. Once it's nice and chilled, we can roll it out and form it. In the meantime, it's going into the fridge. After some chill time, I now have a firm disc of pâte sucrée. So we're gonna lightly flour our work surface, and I'm using here a silicone mat. So handy if you do any pastry, any pie making. Nothing really sticks to it, so it is a lifesaver. Like if it got really warm or you overworked the dough and it starts melting, whole thing goes up into the fridge to chill out, and you can come back, it's nice and firm. Lightly flour the top as well. And now we're going to just start slow. You keep the dough moving. Don't try and go, "Argh." Be gentle with the dough. It's quite firm because all that butter is really set up. And if you find that it's rock hard and you just cannot move it, like maybe you took a long lunch and it was in the fridge for too long, then just let it sit on the countertop for a few extra minutes. It'll warm right up. If you see tons of cracking, that's probably a cue to just pause. If it's a little cracking, you can just gently press it back together and say, "Shh, no, not today." I'm using a 9-inch tart pan. These have those lovely removable bases. So I would probably roll out like an 11-ish inch disc of dough. Okay, this dough, I will say, it's like if a cookie, like a shortbread cookie and pastry dough had a baby. So the short means it's a delicate dough. And honestly, you're just going to see some cracking here. I'm having some cracking in the center. That's okay. We'll be careful when we transfer it, and we can push it into place once it's in the pie pan. Let's finish rolling this out. Here we go. See, it really just had to warm up a bit and get super delicate before it would stop cracking. And that's fine, because this goes into the freezer as soon as it's pressed in place. To transfer this over, a rolling pin and a silpat would be your best friends. There we go. Now, just unroll that. Don't stretch, press the edge in, just like that. Work from the outer edge and lift it up and then press it down into the corner, just like that. I have some excess dough, so what I'm gonna do is just press it down a little bit more because all the excess gets trimmed off and basically discarded, unless you have some creative use for it, which maybe you do. And I wouldn't mind the edge being just a little bit more thick. Now, I'm just gonna press to the side. So use your clean fingers and press the side in so it's making nice contact with the fluted edge. All right, using a sharp knife, you're going to pull towards the edge. All right, and the last bit gets trimmed down. You have some extra. If you noticed any like perilously thin parts right at the corner, you could just roll a little bit out to basically Play-Doh and press that down just so that it has some more strength. I'm just doing this for the point of illustration. Mine looks basically fine to me. Before this goes into the freezer, let's dock the bottom of this tart shell so that when we bake it, things don't bubble up. We want to be able to release steam, so this tart shell remains nice and flat. My tart shell is ready to go into the freezer at least 30 minutes. You could make this days or weeks in advance, just have it nicely wrapped up if it's spending more time in the freezer. While this chills, preheat your oven to 375 so it's hot and ready to bake. Into the freezer you go. All chilled up, so place this onto a rimmed baking sheet. We're gonna bake this at 375 for about 20 minutes until it's a light golden color. In you go. As soon as your tart shell comes out of the oven, reduce the temperature to 350 because this will bake at a nice low temperature so we don't harden that custard. While the crust bakes, we're gonna make our lemon curd. So start off by zesting 2 beautiful lemons. I want all the lemon flavor for the curd, and that means you need to get the lemon oil from the skin. These lemon tarts are so lovely. They have the perfect combination of that crisp shortbread crust, or pâtisserie, and It's a shortbread style crust because technically it's a little bit different. Anyways, the crisp crust and this gooey, lovely, luscious lemon filling. Wonderful on its own. You could have with a big scoop of ice cream, huge dollop of whipped cream, or anything you'd like. Okay, zested. We're gonna cut these up, and I want half a cup of lemon juice as well. All right, let's get to juicing. These tarts are, of course, a lovely French treat. It's also known as a tarte au citron. And aside from the toppings I said you could have earlier, one that's really lovely is a meringue. You could have beautiful meringue dollops on top. You could brulee them and have a toasty marshmallow vibe. And honestly, it's such an elegant dessert that you could make ahead, and it's so impressive. I've zested and juiced lemon. Grab a medium bowl and let's add some eggs. This is a custard tart. It says a lemon custard tart. Into this bowl, I'm adding 4 large eggs. 1, 2, 3. By the way, if you get into pastries and you're like, gosh, I love the look of this, but I want it to be even fancier, you can invest in a pastry ring. They're expensive though, like if you're really like going into kitchen gadget territory, but it's a lovely perforated metal ring, and you get a special silicone mat that has perforations, and you can bake the tart directly on the mat with the ring. And the way you can do it gives you that perfect bakery style edge, or pâtisserie style edge. I also want 2 egg yolks for some added richness, so just reserve the whites for something else later. You could use them to make a lovely meringue to top this, in fact. Grab a whisk and whisk it up. Once it's nice and smooth, set that aside and grab a medium pot. To your medium pot, we'll add 1 cup or 200 grams of granulated sugar. Add that to the pot. Add your half cup of lemon juice. As well as the lemon zest. We're also adding in half a cup of unsalted butter. Just cut it into smaller pieces as you drop it into your pan. Drop the last of that butter in there. Now we can take this onto medium heat. Have a wooden spoon at the ready. Once the pot's over medium heat, you're gonna stir pretty often and just keep a watch. You want the butter to be melted, and this should just come to a little bubble. You should also have another medium bowl with a fine mesh sieve over it at the ready. We'll be doing some pouring and transferring later on. Basically, we have a hot sugar solution we've made, and we have an egg mixture. You need to get combined without curdling the eggs, so you have a luscious, silky custard, not lemony, sweet scrambled eggs. Stir, stir, stir. Keep a watch. The butter's melted, and I see some bubbles. Here's the deal. With one hand, you are whisking vigorously. With the other, we're drizzling in our lemon mixture. So drizzle, 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 whisk, 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 drizzle, drizzle, whisk, whisk, whisk. After the first bit is in, you're pretty safe. There we go. Now, pour this right back into the pot. Now this goes back onto the burners, but this time over low heat, and have your whisk at the ready because you'll be whisk, whisk, whisking the whole time. Low heat. So now, over low heat, you're gonna be whisking, not vigorously, but just constantly. We wanna keep this moving. And if you have one available, it's the perfect time to use a narrow or French whisk as opposed to a balloon whisk. This gets into the corner of your pot, so you don't have any scrambled eggs lurking around. You want this to thicken up, so it should be noticeably thicker. It would coat the back of a wooden spoon and reach about 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you have your thermometer, have that out, and if not, a wooden spoon will do. After just a few minutes, this reached temp, but the temperature doesn't really matter. What matters is the consistency of your curd. The wooden spoon, you should be able to dip it in the back, and you can see it's coating it, and if I use my finger, a line will keep. It also tastes delicious. All right, take that off heat, grab your other bowl with the sieve, and we're gonna sieve this out. So I have a beautiful thick lemon curd now, but there might be a little bits of scrambled egg. There are little bits of lemon zest, and we want this to be delicate, refined, and have a smooth texture. So we're gonna strain it out. Somewhat optional, but I would do it. Okay, plop that all out. And now we can just let this gracefully fall through the strainer. Easy to do since it's nice and hot. I was pretty careful about not leaving this so there aren't any scrambled egg pieces, but there are the horrible egg Twizzlers, those little strings in the eggs, which you don't like. Clean that off the bottom. You know, I mentioned that I don't like the egg Twizzler in every video we use eggs. And someone in the comments told me that if you remove them, so if you strain your eggs when you make scrambled eggs, the scrambled eggs taste much more delicate and less eggy, which I'm very curious about, but I haven't mastered the energy for yet. Now we can transfer this lovely curd into our tart shell. Give it a little bit of a shimmy, and then to smooth it out, you can just use your spatula. Carefully transfer this to the oven, and we're gonna bake it for 10 minutes or until the edge is just set. In you go. Once your tarte au citron is ready to come out of the oven, let it cool on the countertop for about an hour before you refrigerate it for at least 2 hours or up to overnight or a day or two. Remove that ring. Honestly, if I'm just serving this and it's in the kitchen, I will leave it on the bottom plate. That's our secret. But if you're gonna serve this out, just pop it off. You just have to get a little point of leverage so that you can prise that disc off of the bottom. And now you can serve it, and it'll look so elegant. This tart is lovely plain, but I'm serving it with a cute little dollop of whipped cream and some raspberries dusted with powdered sugar. And just like that, it's ready to enjoy. George, would you like a bite?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. The filling is so luscious and it melts in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
But the shortbread crust, or the pâtisserie, it's so crisp and buttery. It's the perfect combination. What do you think?
It's really good.
I hope you enjoyed this delicious recipe. And if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button and check out my lemon playlist. You want to say bye-bye?